Welcome to Sunday Brunch, powered in part by Backyard on Bell and Classic of Denton.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. It's a chilly Thursday night here in Denton, Texas. My name is Kind Beats. I want to welcome y'all to the second installation of what I'm calling Coffee Beats. This is where I'm going to show y'all how to make beats from scratch, whether you're going to be sampling stuff or if you're going to be making your keys. I'm going to give y'all some step-by-step tutorials and instruction on how to take a sample and turn that into your own beat, kind of like what I do. So right now I've got this sample loaded up, and what you do in Ableton is you just pretty much open up Ableton if you use Ableton. If you use Fruity Loops, I'm sorry, this tutorial is not for you. My apologies, or Logic. But if you use Ableton, definitely stay tuned in and check this out. So right now the sample that I'm working with is by Hiroshi Suzuki, and the track is called Romance. You can pick this up off vinyl records, you can get it online if you want. So the first thing that you want to do whenever you load a track in, if you're going to be sampling, is you want to know your tempo. And so you can check your tempo on Ableton with there's these little two dots that are up on the left-hand side, and it says 1 bar next to that, and then there's a 4/4. So if you click that, you start to hear that. Now you hear that that's not on time at all. So the original of this track, you'll hear it get a little faster, is 147 BPM right there. So I'm able to take this tempo knob right here, and I can turn that. As you can see the tempo right here. If you kind of look at my mouse, you'll see it circling on the screen there. The tempo's right there. I'm going to kind of full screen that. Hopefully that'll help y'all see a little bit more. So the tempo's right here. Now you can hear that this track just sounds like a jazz track that was made a long time ago, right? But what I'm going to show you how to do is take this song by Hiroshi Suzuki, highly recommend you look it up, and turn it into your own. So the first thing you want to do is decide what BPM do you want. Do you want to work with 120? Do you want to work with 140? Do you want to work with 90, 100? I make a lot of hip hop, so what I just did is you can hear the beat totally changed. So listen, this is at 90, and that's the original, okay? So we're gonna bring it back down to 90, okay? And we're gonna start to have some fun with this track, all right? So I've got it, as you can see on my pad right here, I've got that sample placed in this little square that I've got right here, all right? And I hit that, and it will restart the sample. So what you want to do is you want to start to loop that, okay? So you'll hear that this is going to start to loop. All right, again and again and again. So then you want to drag that over, and you can start to get a nice loop. Bum, bum. And it might be on time, it might not, you might have to adjust some things. So then what I like to do is take that clip, that initial clip that I've made, and I duplicate that. And then I drag my loop down. All right, you can kind of see on the screen there how it's moving back and forth. So I'm going to drag my loop to the next loop spot, okay? Duplicate that, and then I'm going to drag this down right to there. And it should do that automatically for you. You might have to do a little bit of adjustments, so you can right click and slide that down, select off, and then go right there to where it needs to be. Sweet. And then go back and put your grid back on. Now I know this is a lot of information I'm throwing at you, but I'm trying to make a beat in an hour real quick, so let's knock it out. So you can see how it smoothly goes to the next track, the next beat. Boom, there we go. Let's see, that's liking to give me a hard time again, so I'm gonna come in here and line that up again. Cool. So now I'll take the count in off. So normally I have like a count, so the new sample comes in every bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4 new sample. But what I just did is I made it so that I can start to chop that sample up by myself. So I've got a pretty good idea of how I want my loop to go. Now what I want to do is I need to find a third piece. So we're going to kind of scan through the sample. Ooh, see, I like that right there. That's what I was looking for. So we can go. And probably that's not what it's going to sound like at all by the time that this is done. But that initially gives me a really good idea of what I want to do. So then I'm going to grab a drum rack. And I have a bunch of drum racks that are already pre-made, so I highly recommend as you make drum racks in Ableton and you like the sound of the drums and everything that you're doing, keep those and save them. Each time you make something, look on your drum rack that holds on your drums. There'll be a little what looks like a floppy disk in the upper right hand side of your drum rack. That means you can save it, click that, name it, save it, boom, bada bing, bada boom, it's there forever. So this is my drum rack right here that I use all the time. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to go ahead and record kind of like a 16-bar loop. It's not going to sound pretty, it's not going to be nice, but it helps to get your creative juices flowing. So what you want to do is just make a real simple beat at first. So click on your pencil in the upper right hand side of the screen, like you can see right here. I'm circling my mouse. Go down here and we are going to click just a really simple drum pattern in. And as you can hear, when I click that button, now my drums are playing, right? So that's pretty sweet. Okay. And so we've got that going. Give me 1 second here. We're going to delete those drums. We're going to insert this. Okay, cool. And then when I click that button, now we've got drums. So that's at 100 BPM, but I want to bring it down to 90. That's more of that old school kind of hip hop boom bap stuff, the stuff that I like to make. And then from there, what you can do is it's really just a game of playing with the samples. So like, and you have to be careful though, because you can get lost in that for hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play that, and I'm going to record it. So on the pads real quick here, can I get a shot of the pads, of the pad right here? Awesome. Sweet. Cool. Amazing. I love this technology. Oh, it's killing it here. Yes, that is Ableton Live. Yeah, so if you're watching, this is Ableton Live that I'm using. This is an APC40 MK2. So I'm about to show you how this works. This pad right here is the drums. This pads right here are my samples. So when I click scene launch, that will launch it, okay? I can hit stop clips, and that stops it. So let's go ahead and get to work. All right? Cool. So right there, we've just recorded a quick loop. It's literally 5 bars long, and that's what you're looking for. So you want to go to the 5 on that one. So, and it's also a good thing to learn your quick keys as well. So like Control Z is how you undo, Control D is how you duplicate, all that fun stuff. So yo, 29 in Deadpool just became a fan. Sounds good to me, dude. Y'all make sure to go to my SoundCloud, Kind Beats, go to my Instagram, Kind Beats, go to everything that is Kind Beats. Yeah, so if y'all are tuned in right now, you might have seen this on my Instagram. Thank you very much for tuning in. Shout out to Kill Paris. If he's tuning in, he actually liked the last video that I did, so that was pretty sweet. So here we go. So now what you want to do is you want to make it so that all your hits align, because unfortunately I'm not the best button clicker, and so not all of my clicks are going to be perfect. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fix this up real quick. And you'll kind of hear these pauses. So like right there, you can leave that in if you like it. Like that can add a little bit of dexterity and a little bit texture to your song, and allows you to fill space. But it looks like for the most part, a lot of the rest of my hits on here were pretty spot on. So you can go in and you can shorten, you can lengthen, you can do whatever you want to these clips. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this snare that I'm working with right now. It's a little, it's a good snare. It's kind of Jay Dilla-ish and stuff like that. I like it. It's not bad. We definitely want to leave whatever I just did right there. I want that to continue. So here, cool. But I do want to open this up a little bit more to give it some breath. You know. Ooh, there you go. See, that's hitting a lot more now. So now you can listen to it. But let's slow that down. See, I kind of like that a little bit more, though. All right, cool. So we've got kind of the initial style of how we want our beat to be, how our samples are going to go. So then what I like to do is go ahead and duplicate my samples, as you can see right here. We'll zoom way in on this so y'all can see. Let me close this up. We'll zoom in. I'll make it bigger. So these are my samples right here. This is the track essentially of what y'all are seeing. So and I can loop that part. So that's what I'm doing right now. So this is just gonna loop for a while. And this kind of gives you freedom and some space and time to work and develop new ideas and to listen to it. And the important thing about when you're sampling is to make sure that you can listen to those samples over and over and over again and you don't get tired of it, because that's what the audience is going to hear, or that's what your rapper is going to hear. That's what anybody who listens to this track besides you is going to notice, the repetition. And so you need to make sure that if it is going to be repetitive, that it's smooth, it flows, and it's really nice for the ears to listen to. So creativity is good, but before you go off and start getting creative, make sure that you have something well established. That way you know as the producer that your audience is going to enjoy what you hear, and then you can start to add your ear candy and the little bits and pieces right here that really start to make this kind of beat interesting. So now that I'm off that soapbox, we're going to go and we're going to grab a rim hit, like a side rim hit. So you go to rim in your Ableton under your drum hits and click that. And so then we come, let's see, we'll come here. Okay, cool, I like that. See, that's cool. So we can drop that into our drum rack. Sweet. And then you can literally pop this right back open and add it right in. So you'll hear it right there. And so that kind of starts to add a little bit more flavor to a track. So then what I like to do too is kind of offset your rim hit a little bit before your snare. And that right there gives it more of a humanistic feel, because you're making music on a computer first off, and so you want it to have more of a humanistic vibe to it, and not having people think that everything was just done on a computer so it's all perfect timing. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get rid of that snare entirely that I have in there, and I'm going to add a snap to it. I feel like snaps really add some good high end to stuff, and you can kind of hide a snap behind other things. So my favorite is actually called the X-rated snap. I have no idea why. But it's an Ableton, it's standard. Everything that I'm using tonight, there are no plugins. Everything is Ableton. So if you have Ableton Live, if you have the basic Ableton, you can do what I'm doing right now. That's the beautiful thing, is that you do have to have a computer, of course. But even this mixer I'm using right here, my sampler, you don't have to have this to do what I'm doing. So see that? So now we've kind of got that going, but I kind of liked that snare being in there. But let's get some hi-hats going real quick. All right, cool. And this is kind of where I'm going to start to zone out every once in a while. And I'll just be doing fun stuff over here. So for instance, I'm going to start to offset these hi-hats too, because that's what's going to give it, once again, that swing. What you're looking for a lot of the time when you're making hip-hop beats, especially if they're like an old school style, not like trap or anything like that, but if you're making boom bap or stuff that's inspired by jazz, you want to have stuff offset a little bit. So let's see. See how like those right there, none of those pieces besides the kicks are really ever on time, so it kind of allows your ears to dance around within the beat. That's enough of that. So we've worked with that, but as you can see, we've got the sample, and that sample's just been looping. You guys might be sick of it, but I'm not, because I've been sitting here listening to it. So then the next thing I like to do, I talked about this in the last tutorial, right? We've got some more time tonight, so I like to bring in a sidechain compressor. So you bring in a compressor from Ableton, open it, click the little down arrow, that arrow that's in the upper left hand side, click that, and then it pops open, and there's a sidechain thing, and you click sidechain and then go to whatever you want it to duck to. So every time my kick drum hits, like, let me show you. So every time you hear that, that's when the kick drum is hitting. And so what that does is that actually allows your drums to come through in the track more, and it actually gives it some bounce. So we can start to have fun with that right there, okay? So we've got that going. Now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and duplicate this drum rack because I'm liking these sounds. I'm liking everything that's going on. I'm not going to get super involved in like the reverb and the ear candy and all the additional stuff because we only have an hour. But then the next thing that I would do to kind of give this more, once again, I'm going to preach it a lot, is that humanistic feel. Because I have found that people tend to enjoy music the more realistic it feels. So we're going to go and grab what's called my ride drum rack. So rides are like that. You know, they sound like this. That's a ride. And I have some different ones now. That one right there is probably my favorite. That's the one that I'm going to use for this one. It's a little bit more registered in the highs. And so once again, you double click on whatever your rack area is. All right, so I've got that right here, as you can see. Click that, double click it, something will pop up there. And then you can draw it in. And I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen for y'all over there so you can see it. So this is me drawing in the splashes that I want to hear. Or the crashes, or no, not the crashes, the rides. This is very important that you know that these are rides, not crashes. You don't want to use a crash that's going to be too loud and too punchy. You want to use a ride. Those cymbals are a bit more flowy. They tend to hide back in the distance a little bit more, and so that's what's going to give you that jazzy vibe feel. So let's go ahead and click play. So you can hear by adding those in. So that right there, yeah. And so that helps to, once again, it gives it a bit more of a humanistic vibe to it. It helps to create feel in the song. The audience kind of has a bit more to delve into when it comes to the audibleness of it. And it just helps to create a cool vibe. So what I also like to do is like to adjust the velocity of each hit. Because no drummer is going to hit the velocity perfect every time. It's just not how it's going to happen. So adjust your velocities. They're underneath the drums that you've programmed, and you can move these up and down, right down in here. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I can make that bigger so y'all can see. So these are your velocities that you see right here. Each one of these. So as you can see, they all kind of change. Yeah. So think about that. If someone was going, which one would be louder? Which one would be softer? And don't worry, we are going to do a tutorial on how to master music, because a lot of the time you'll make a beat and then you go and play it on a system and it's not loud enough. It's not as loud as it sounds in your apartment, your headphones, your monitors. It's very important to test your music on a lot of different stuff. Like go to an open mic night and test it out. I mean, just do that because it'll help you a lot to understand the dynamics of your track. Before you have your first gig and you go in and your music does not sound the way that it did when you were at home. So let's go ahead and record those rides. And while that is happening, I'm going to go ahead and grab some reverb over here because I just need to do it. I can do that quickly. Cool. So we've got that recorded. Let's press play. And now I've got our rides, but I'm not going to have the rides come in right away. I'm going to have them come in a few beats or a few measures into the beat. And we're not going to have the drums first either. So we're going to go ahead and really start to formulate and actually make a beat. Cool. So we've got. So we come in here. Actually, I like that. I like that idea. All right, so what I just did is I took the original drum clip and I slimmed it down. Y'all can see right here. I slimmed it down. I took the kick out. I took my rim vinyl hit, and I left my snaps, and I left my hi-hats. That's what I left in there. That gives a good introduction. It's also going to allow me to hear the reverb that I'm about to put on that snap really clearly at the beginning of the mix. So let me show you. That's it with the reverb, and here it is without. Okay? Once again, with reverb. All right? And then without. All right, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this playing. Ooh. See? It just kind of tucks that snap back behind there a little bit. And then what I like to do too, so we put that reverb, and that's just your basic reverb, nothing special. You literally click the reverb, click, drag and drop the reverb. So now you can see my sample's gone. See? So now I've got to find something new to do. So once again, we'll restart that and let it kind of play out here. And I want to go and grab an auto filter real quick. Drop that auto filter on the rim hit. Cool, so it's there. So you can have a low pass filter, you can have a high pass filter, there's all different types of filters. So on that screen right there, you can see me moving this thing back and forth. That's your filter. So you're gonna notice how this changes, watch. So see, that's how it changes depending. So this is what's called a low pass filter, so it only allows the lows to come out. So I wanna put a high pass filter on it because I want the highs in that rim hit to come out and really kind of push through the mix. Yeah, see that? So that's got less of that bass tone in it, and it pushes through the mix a little bit more. Now, if you liked that kind of bassiness of it, you can go like that right there. It's that simple. Just bring your frequency back down a little bit, but I'm going to turn my frequency up. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another reverb on there, but this time I'm going to go to the reverb, click down and select Hall, and then go to Long Tail, and see it gives that real nice long feel to it. But I'm gonna slim that down a little bit. Personally, I just like the way that this reverb sounds on stuff. You can use whatever you want, whatever you think sounds good. But I have found that in my time, the long tail is what it's called. The long tail reverb is the best. Once again, I'll make the screen a little bit bigger so y'all can see it, if I can. It won't let me, but it is what it is. Y'all can still understand. So, haven't added a bass line, I haven't done anything yet. This is just your basic beat right here. So then what I want to do is go ahead and grab a crash. So my way of doing things is I like to bring in all of my drums first. I get my initial sample going, and then I bring in all the drums. All right, and I can start to work from there, start to add in little pieces of what I call ear candy. Ear candy is what I showed y'all when we just did the reverb on those drums and changed that up entirely. So a really quick, easy way to do crashes and cymbals and stuff like that is you zoom way in, click on where you want it to go, highlight that area, all right? Left click and highlight, right click and go to Insert MIDI Clip. Click the MIDI clip, and then you've got all kinds of fun. Then you go down to your screen right here that you've got, as you can see, bada bing, bada boom, it's huge now. And go ahead and right click, and then it'll say Fixed Grid, change that to 1 bar. That way, when you click, it'll just be one long crash. And then you've got your crash all set up. And you can kind of move things around. But it's going to take time. Yeah, see, there we go. So like with stuff like that, the thing that I'm going to do next is go ahead and I'm going to take an autofill, or a ping pong delay. See, like, ooh, that's interesting how that works. So it seems like the ride and the cymbal, my crash, when I put that ping pong delay on there, that crash is hitting right on the cymbal, which is neat. All right, cool. So what we're gonna do here is we are going to go ahead, we're gonna duplicate our initial sample. So you right click and you duplicate. Then what I'm gonna do is delete everything around this right here. I'm about to turn it red on the screen. You'll see this sample just became red. So everything around that red is getting deleted. And here's what that red sample is. It's just that sound. See, here's what I want to do though. I want to start, let's see, cool. Okay, I want this to kind of echo off. So I'm going to put a little bit of a ping pong delay on there again. So you want to click on the ping pong delay. You've got all these different options. You want to click the 1. Click on the 1. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 16. And that's all based on mathematics and the amount of timing that it's going to have. But if you listen to it now, see how it kind of works its way into that next part of the track now. So it's going to go. Brilliant. All right, and that's what we want. You can put a long tail reverb on that, like I said earlier, if you want, and that'll give it some more space. It'll help it to fill some room. So yeah, you can see that right there now. Once again, you're going to have to work with stuff when you're doing this because samples are going to sound different. You're going to be throwing effects and all kinds of stuff on there. So now I've kind of gotten away from some of the stuff of some of like the beginnings, and I'm starting to work a bit more into the ear candy portion of it. So I'm going to take that tiny little sample right there, and I just want this little part right here that you're going to hear. All right, cool. So that's working out pretty well so far. So then what I did is I took the initial sample once again, this guy right here, and I just duplicated it. So now it's longer, it's the rest, it's going to go for a full 17 bars. So let's see, I'm going to come in here, and for some reason, the sample's not being kind to us the way we want it to. Huh, okay, let's, that would be why. Okay, neato. So now we're running into like kind of the first problem that you have sometimes is where you want to sample a portion of a song, but it doesn't make sense. So you hear that, and then you hear it again and it cuts off. So what I want is for that sample to continue, like that, I want that to keep going. So I'm going to have to, yeah, we're getting close here. Getting close to what I'm looking for. So you might need to turn up the feedback on your ping pong delay. So let's try that out real quick. All right, yeah, see, that's what we wanted. I wanted that to blend into there like that, and then this should. Yeah, okay. So that's what I was trying to do. I wanted that sample, those keys, to kind of blend off into the rest of the mix here. So as you can see, that's the old sample. That's not what we're doing anymore. So I'm going to show y'all right here. This is how I did that. So each of these that are red that you'll see on the screen, this is that sample duplicated. So I'm going to show y'all just by itself. So here it is all alone. See, so that still tricked me though. So here's what we really want, I think. Yeah, okay, cool. That's what we're looking for. I want this sample down here, the red, to be the only sample that's playing that key portion. So like for instance, this is how it sounds like. All right. Now those drums that are in that sample can actually get convoluted within your mix. You'll hear it a little bit, especially if you're wearing headphones. Like I said earlier, make sure that you test out your stuff on different setups: headphone, cell phone, Kindle, iPad, MacBook, everything that you can to make sure that you have a solid mix throughout the entire. Because it might sound great on your monitors at home, guarantee it's going to sound totally different in the club. Totally different. Not that I'm playing clubs, but I do play at Backyard on Bell every Sunday from noon to 3 at Breakfast and Beats. So make sure y'all check that out. I want to give a shout out to them as the sponsor for this show tonight. Hold on, my buddy Jared's calling me. I'm on the air right now, but I'm going to answer the phone anyways, because it's cool. What's up, Juice? Okay, yeah, yeah, I'm actually on the air live right now doing a tutorial, talking to you, so, yeah. Alright, yeah, I'll be, we're done at 7 tonight, I believe, so almost, alright. Alright, later, man. Alright, that was my good buddy, Jared. He's also part of the Breakfast Boys. Hope to get Sunday brunch going. We're gonna go grab some dinner at 940s, if anyone wants to join. And then maybe make make some more beats. So, okay, cool. Y'all kind of gotten to listen to this so far. We've still got some time left. And we're starting to make some progress here, I feel like. So let's go ahead and keep working in the ear candy stuff. Now, the fun part after you've gotten your initial samples going and everything is to start to add things that are from different songs. That's really what makes this a lot of fun, is you discover portions of different music that goes together that you didn't expect to work together, or that you wouldn't have thought of before. I'm going to go ahead and let this crash and do its thing. Except for right there. So then at the end we've got the I'm going to take that away. But only at the very end of each of the, like right here. Perfect. Cool. So then what we're going to do is we're going to start to look for either other portions of that song that we initially started using, or we are going to get a totally different track. Now, I am completely unfamiliar with the sample that we're using tonight. I might have sampled it before, but I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the initial sample that we've got right here. And with my trusty mixer down here, I can start to do that actually. So let me show you all how this is going to work. I'm going to take this sample, copy, and paste it in there. So anytime I'm doing something and changing things, it's always going to be in red. It's either going to be in green or blue when I've already done it. So as you can see right here, the samples that I've worked with are in blue, and the sample I'm about to work with, that I just clicked a whole bunch, is in red. So I want to go ahead and get rid of all these effects on here because I haven't even heard how I'm going to add this sample into there. So we can click play, and that'll start to play our track. So this is what's looping right now, but I've already sampled that. I've already used that part in the song, so I need to find something new. What usually works really well are like horn shots, like you know, that's a horrible example of what a horn sounds like, but a bang, and then put like a ping pong delay, a filter delay, something to make it spread out into your mix and give it this kind of jazzy, smoky bar vibe. So that's something. I'm looking for. Oh. So let's see what that even is. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. Now, you know me, man. I love me some ping pong delay, folks. It just helps to spread things out, and you don't have to use a lot of it either. I use it, like, I put it on a lot of stuff, but I use it sparingly. So you just hear how that works like that? So, like, if we start the beat here, let's see. Love that. All right, Daniel, thanks for tuning in, man. I became a fan. That's what I like to hear, guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. This is actually only the second time we've done this show. This is only my second tutorial. I have no idea why I have 10 text messages right now, because I know it's not y'all blowing up my phone about how great my tutorial is. But y'all do hear how cool this is going together, right? What are all of my... These are all my coworkers doing weird stuff. Alright, I'm trying to like work here. Coworkers are sending me silly messages. Yes, 9467, cool. Alright, so I haven't really been paying attention for the last minute, so let's get back to it. So right now, you guys are tuned in to a special edition of Breakfast and Beats, which I am calling Coffee and Beats because I'm drinking some coffee right now. We started off with a sample by Hiroshi Suzuki. The track is called Romance, and we've taken it, we've chopped it up, we've added some of our own drums behind. I'll show you guys what that original track sounds like real quick, just so you can have an idea of where we went and where we are now. So this is the original. So I'm just kind of clicking around, and And that gives you guys an idea of what I've sampled. So then, here's what it sounds like now. And y'all might have noticed right then that horn started to move to the other side of your headset. That's a really, really good thing to do when you're mixing, is move stuff a little bit more to one side and a little bit more to another. Because if you're watching a band on stage, not everybody's right in the middle of the stage, right? Everybody's kind of set up in different areas, so the guitar should maybe be panned a little bit more to the left. Your rides should maybe be panned a little bit more to the right. Your drum set needs to be panned, which I haven't done yet, or actually I've done it, but you do a little bit more working with it. So for example, like that just moved into your left headphone, right? Yeah. And now you're gonna hear the snap more in the right headphone. So that's how you can do stuff like that right there and change things up, and to help spread the mix out in your headphones. Unfortunately, I actually only have one studio monitor that is functioning right now, so I don't get a lot of opportunities to hear things panned and all that until I put my headphones on. I do a lot of my first making of the tracks with my studio monitor, and then I put the headphones on, and that's when you can really hear a lot. And sometimes you can be very disappointed because the mix sounded a lot fuller. Remember, you've got headphones on now, not a studio monitor. So just give yourself a little bit of credit, all right? But let's go ahead and record those horns now that I've got going. This is another piece of the song. And once again, y'all, this is kind of like a 1-hour beat challenge just to see how far I can get in about 45, 50 minutes. So we've got about 7 minutes left. I'm going to see how far I can get here. Whoops. Well, there's a mistake that I just did. I accidentally recorded and I erased all my crashes. So you hit Control Z, that solves that problem real quick, gets rid of what you just did, and we restart this horn right here. So that horn is actually on this pad right here. So when I perform beats live, a lot of the time you'll see me clicking a certain pad or pushing a button again and again and again. That's what I'm doing right here. Now I'm going to let the sample ride. Alright, cool. So what that just told me is I can find that part of the song, that high part, that right there. You can find that in here. So that's actually this portion of the song right here. If you listen, that's all that is. Then I'm going to drop an EQ, what's called an EQ3, and pull out all the low end from it. So that's what I get. It doesn't get convoluted in the rest of the mix. Cool. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. And let's see if I like that. Sometimes I like to keep it mellow at first and not bring those higher notes in right away. But let's see what that sounds like with it all together. I'm sure like y'all over there are losing your minds hearing this over and over and over. I figure, yeah, I figure somebody's got to be going a little crazy. For me, I'm having a whole lot of fun. Because, Daniel, you loving this music, man? That's what I like to hear. Check out Kind Beats. She got in. Hey! That was Klaus's dad. That's awesome. That was really cool. Alright, good to see that guy. Sweet. So now we've got those horns in there. Ooh, yeah, see, I like that. I like how that initially works. I think I've been using the word initially a lot tonight. Ooh. You'll be on the lookout as well. I've got a new album coming out in March, Music to Cuddle 2 Volume 3. We've got the release party. We've got that date on lock, but we're not going to tell y'all when it's going down just yet. We've got some talent lined up that I'm very, very excited about to have in the building that night. It's actually going to be the 3rd year that we've done that show, so I'm really, really happy to be able to put together a show that brings out a lot of musicians and different people of all different walks of life out. We have a lot of different features going on. What's up to my man right there? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. This is not my only job, so. Hey, what's up, y'all? That's pretty neat right there. So, yeah, so you kind of hear, sorry, I got distracted. So you guys are hearing how the samples are working, how it's all going together now, and how we're starting to create more of a track. But now what you've got to do is when those drums hit, you need to make it so that you can go a full 16 bars, because we've got to go all the way to the 22. You know, we might even go to 23 on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate that. Now I haven't even gone back and started to rework the drum beat. The drums are doing their thing. They're on time. I know that. The point now is to get the samples on time and have the samples all hitting correctly and nothing being off point, nothing too convoluted in the mix. And next time, if I'm not feeling like going home and working on this beat more, because that's exactly what happened last time we did this, if I can leave this one on the back burner for another week, we'll keep working on it, and I will show you guys how to start adding new stuff. Like I said, the ear candy, mastering, putting on saturators, boosting things here and there. For right now, I am pretty happy with the way this track is gone. I hope y'all have enjoyed the tutorial tonight. I know it goes by really quick. I say a lot of words. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on my email. It's kindbeats27@gmail.com. You can go to my Kind Beats Facebook. You can also go to my Kind Beats SoundCloud, Kind Beats Instagram. Just type in Kind Beats. If you don't see a redhead or you don't see a picture of Mr. Rogers, then it's not me, just so y'all know. There is one other Kind Beats out there on the internet. He's been doing it as much longer than I have. Trust me, me and this guy have had the conversation. So we are pretty much all finished up. I want y'all to hear this one more time, just for the kids in the back of the class who weren't paying attention. And then I'm going to go grab some dinner here. But once again, y'all, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Backyard on Bell, for sponsoring the show. Every single Sunday over at Backyard on Bell, you can go to Breakfast and Beats. Usually myself, I'm always there pretty much. We've got Lofty Beats in the house today, this week. We've got Sanford Black in the house, and then we've got Tall Adam. Tall Adam, brand new dude, coming to the stage this week. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're excited to have him out. It is $2 mimosas. We've got build your own breakfast pizzas. Rachel's has always got the delicious food truck grub. We've had some new food trucks out recently. Just a bunch of down-tempo, chill, jazz, hip-hop cats hanging out there, so we hope that y'all can come out for that. And also make sure that y'all tune into my show every single Tuesday night, Sound Values. This week, I've got Levi Cobb and The Big Smoke tuning in. If you missed my interview with Hagen and the rest of the boys of Moniker the other night, you can go to the DentonRadio.com Facebook and check that out. So I want to give a big shout-out again to DentonRadio.com and everybody coming in, helping me to do this. It's awesome. Shout out to y'all who watch and comment. Thank you so much. Once again, you can probably pick this track up very soon on my SoundCloud if I decide not to finish it. If I do finish it, I'll save the files and make sure to show y'all how I went through the process of finishing the song. So I hope y'all have enjoyed it. Once again, make sure y'all look up this artist who I sampled, Hiroshi Suzuki. The song is called Romance. Fantastic stuff. Y'all have a wonderful night. Stay warm out there. Peace out, Denton. Y'all be cool.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com to find more local artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure to check out our friends Backyard on Bell at backyardonbell.com and our friends Classic of Denton at classicofdenton.com.